Well, howdy, howdy, howdy. Nearly Senior Citizen here. Greetings, boys and girls, and welcome to this, another brand new day. I am going to move her up here quickly before I start to yammer, but it is 7:14 on Thursday, the 18th of October. This is Little Saber / Cream, one of my two hamsters that are left. She is an absolute cutie. Her fur is both pearlescent and iridescent, and it's really cool. She is absolutely beautiful. There's no way that my webcam can do her any justice, but she is an absolute cutie, and I love her to pieces. So I'm going to put her back in her cage so that she doesn't, freak out and jump because I woke her up. So here we go, little one. Back into your cage. There you go, into your nest. And then I'll put your lid back up so that you've got darkness. There. Very, very good. Her nest is on this side of the cage, so I'm hoping that by putting her in there and then putting the lid on and then not bothering her, she'll just go back into her nest on this side of the cage. I don't blame them. It's smart to put their nest on the other side when I move them over here, because then if I'm going to grab them, I've got to make a decision to do so. I can't just randomly reach in because, oh, there they are. Because, of course, for them, while they may understand that I'm not going to hurt them, because of such small amount of brain power, they have such an intense amount of instinct, and they gotta fight their instinct, and that's hard to do. So that's why guinea pigs, as much as guinea pigs and all that, when you go to pick them up, they freak out. They can't help it. As much as they may love you, and yes, they are capable of feeling emotions and love, as much as they may love you because you're not their species, but hey, they imprint and love. But as much as all that, what was I trying to say? Yeah, they do feel those emotions, they do feel love, but yes, their instinct takes over. When you're trying to pick them up, they can't help it. Their brain immediately goes into, I am going to be attacked, killed, and eaten. And their bodies react. They can't help it. Once they're picked up, like guinea pigs, they can calm right down because they can understand. But some creatures, like rabbits, most rabbits are not lap creatures. They cannot become comfortable, because if you're holding them, it's just their instinct takes over entirely. And as much as they may love you and know your smell and know you're not dangerous, when you're holding them, instinct says, I need to get away. And they can't fight that in most cases. So to keep your bunny happy, to keep your guinea pigs happy, you gotta be careful. So same thing with hamsters, but they're okay. One thing I was surprised about, and hopefully that's my first and only of the day, I was watching a thing on, I can't even remember what it was about, but they were talking about fruit flies and why we use fruit flies for studying even human behavior so much. And even though there's a big difference in neurons, it's like a fruit fly has somewhere between 26,000 or 260,000 neuron cells, and that's not much because we have like 80 billion. And because of our dendrites and the synapses between cells, there are more potential connections between the cells in your brain than there are particles in the universe, which is kind of awesome. But with fruit flies, my throat is really catchy today and I'm very sorry. With fruit flies, their very, 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 very tiny brains actually do model even emotions, like love, quite well. Oddly, I did not know that. I personally did not think a lot of bugs had enough neural tissue to be able to process much of anything. But apparently fruit flies have enough. It must be fruit flies specially, because they don't just study any bugs for anything. But they are capable of emotions and all that with their tiny little, very, very tiny little brains. Surprised the snot out of me, because there are so many bugs that can live even without a brain. There's hornets and roaches and all that. You snip their head off and the body lives just fine until it finally starves, but doesn't need a brain. And yet, and I was also surprised, because there was this one movie where they had roaches that would come up, grab cigarettes, and then run off on a specific path. And that wasn't practical effects. It wasn't CGI. They were actually able to train these roaches to zip out, grab a cigarette, and then zip back to where they were supposed to go. I did not know that insects were trainable that way. I honestly didn't think they had enough neural tissue, but you learn something new every day. And yes, again, I am rambling like mad today. I canceled my therapy. I had to. Was not sleeping well at all last night. And even though when I finally fell asleep, I fell asleep hard, and I had set my alarm because I was going to have therapy today, so my alarm went off at 5:30, and I was sleeping until 5:30. But it was about 3 before I fell asleep. So, when I came in here, I took a look around, and I'm a bachelor, a single guy, suffering from depression, getting better over it, getting over it, but you don't get helicoptered out. You still have to do the work. You're still living the life. And so things fall apart, and then I clean them up, and then they look really, really good, and then they slowly fall apart, and then I clean up and it looks really, really good. Well, it had gotten into the trough of a falling apart time. About the best I can think of. And so when I came in this morning, my combination of depression and my really, really super tiredness and just not liking that sort of thing, I've been tidying up in here, doing a really good job, but it was while I was tidying up I realized just how sleepy I was. And if I go driving anywhere today, I'm gonna fall asleep behind the wheel. I've fallen asleep behind the wheel. Now, normally when I've fallen asleep, this was like back when my wife was still alive, and when I would fall asleep, we would be parked and waiting, not parked, but behind other people at a light. And when I stopped moving during those times, because I was sleeping 1 hour a night, when I would stop moving, I would fall asleep. So I would be waiting behind the people in front of me at a red light, and then BAM! As I lit up on the brake and bonked into them from behind. I did that like 3 times during the 12 years I was married to my wife. Never damaged anybody else's vehicle. Never damaged my vehicle. Every time, I mean, we immediately, everybody pulled over, we took a look, and I went, I am so very sorry. And they took a look at the vehicle and went, it's okay, just you need to, and it's like, yes, I know, I'm gonna try. So I never caused any damage. But that's only sheer luck, because I have been driving on the freeway, and it's only the turtles that have saved my life and probably other people's lives. Because even though I had taken the inside part of a pop can and I had ripped up the inside of my arm until I was bleeding and it hurt, I was still falling asleep while I was driving, and it would only be the bop, 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 as I hit the turtles on the other side that would wake me up. So I'm lucky I didn't kill myself. I am so lucky I didn't kill anyone else. I am not gonna go driving when I'm that tired anymore. I can't. Not in good conscience. So I've called up, well, I haven't called yet. I've left email, which is what I meant to say, to my therapist, remember when I said that I can't lie? I mean, even just when, because of my sobriety and all, I have made rigorous honesty a huge part of my sobriety. Because if I lie to others, I'm going to lie to myself. And I lie to myself, then I'm going to drink. And if I drink, I'm going to die. It's to the point where, even though it was just a simple misspeaking, I had to correct myself and couldn't just write over that, because that's not telling the truth, and I would eventually end up having chest pains later today. Yay. But let's see if I can remember where I was. I called up my therapist, I emailed, gosh darn it, I did it again. I emailed my therapist, told him what happened, said I'm not going to be able to make it in for safety. I'm also going to call to make sure he gets it, just in case he doesn't check his email. Let him know, because I don't want him to go into the office thinking I'm going to be there and then find out I'm not, and then he is upset, his day is ruined. So my throat is so itchy nasty today. But I've been cleaning up, and so the place looks a lot better. It's not terrible, it's just clutter, it's junk. It's like when I blow my nose, and if I throw my tissue toward the garbage container and I miss, I tend to leave it there until I've got enough that I need to clean it up, and that adds up. So stuff like that, little pieces of packaging for like food stuff, you know, eat the food, the packaging is still there, put the packaging off to the side, you start to collect packaging. So it's just little stuff like that that I spent maybe 20 minutes, a half hour, just putting stuff in bags and just tidying up, and it looks 1,000% better, and I've barely done anything. So it's not like I'm living like a terrible alcoholic. Just imagine living by yourself, with the only pressures on you being clean are the fact that you like being tidy and society's pressures. You know, you wouldn't want people to come in and see you living like a pig, would you? So I've got those two things that help me keep it clean, and that's good, because I don't like messy, sloppy, horrible stuff. My outside world is a good indicator of my inside world. And right now my inside world is such that even just a little bit of sloppiness is driving me nuts. So it's going to be almost excessively clean by the end of the day, which is fine. Because as stated before, I work with organized chaos. And so I don't know specifically where something is, but you'll say like, oh, in this specific case, because I know exactly where this is. Usually it's like, I don't know exactly where this is, but I know it's in that pile, or that stack, or that, you know, point to object or container. And then I go there and have to go flip, there it is. And everything is like that. It's almost quantum that way. It's like everything is in a superposition state, in a mass or stack, because everything is in a, well, it's in that stack over there. I don't know exactly where it is, but it's in that stack over there. That thing, oh, and the phone, it's in that stack over there. This thing, it's in that stack over there. It's all just quantum superpositioning, and then I have to go in there and dig to do measurements and collapse the wavefront and to find out exactly where it is. Science. That is a gross overstatement of quantum theory. Nobody understands quantum theory. It's like, how do you know if somebody's lying when they say they understand quantum theory? If they say they understand quantum theory, they're lying. Theorists and mathematicians are struggling with this stuff. It's hard, it's difficult, it's weird. Classical physics and quantum physics, they don't mix. They are so completely separate. And that's weird because they shouldn't, and yet they are. It is a weird, weird study, and it seems to break so many laws, and oh, it's fun stuff. Definitely cool. This is good. I can do, I talked about this I think yesterday, where I can do 4 sets of 40 And then my hand is tired but not locked, which is much, much smarter than just going until I hit 100 or so. And then it's, let's see if I got my hand working. Buildup of lactic acid. Gotta love that. Because you see, I just tossed that on the floor next to me. Organized chaos. I know where it is. It's on the floor next to me. As the next thing that goes on the floor to become the new superpositional pile. Collapse the wavefront later on. I have also opened up 24 hours worth of comments in my community tab, and I'm going to go through and thank 20 to 25 people for having left me a comment. I have fibromyalgia, depression, widower brain, post-acute withdrawal syndrome, and more. I'm lucky I remember my own name at times, so I'm not reading the comments. I am just going through thanking you for having left a comment. If I mispronounce your username, no disrespect is intended. I'm an American English speaker, and of course it's a range of 20 to 25 because I count American Sign Language, and I mentioned the not being able to remember things part. So I am actually predominant. I don't know, I'm like ambidextrous. The only thing I can't do with my left hand is write quickly or sign my name. Past that, anything I can do with this hand, I can do with this hand. So, and frequently when people toss me things, I'll miss entirely because by the time I figure out which hand I'm going to use, it hit me and bounced. Yay. Some guy named Jamie, thank you very, very much. And J-Rock Vampire, good to see you in the comments. Thank you very, very much. Darkness Dragon, thank you, greatly appreciated. Ivan Sanchez, thank you. Nut, thank you very, very much. Quanino, thank you, greatly appreciated. Kathy Kitscat, hopefully your pressure sore is continuing to heal. Oi, I complain about my life. I don't have a pressure sore where my sleep mask goes. So, ooh. And Asher Creel, thank you very, very much. Hopefully I'm actually, I don't know where I am. I've really lost. I don't know where I'm. Oh boy. Where am I? Pablo Tech, thank you very, very much. Ryan Plays, thank you. Triple Dog Z, I am so sorry. I've lost it entirely. I don't know where I left off. Jimmy Van, thank you very, very much. Matt Lolliet, thank you. Music Edits, greatly appreciated. Gavin McNulty, thank you. Thomas S, thumbs up. Aurora Rollinson, thank you very, very much. Potato Tron, he had a good life until just the very end, and I don't know what it was, why his fur fell out or why Charlie died, but up until then he'd had a good life. He was a rescue, and I did my best to keep him happy. And Brian Glenn, thank you very, very much. Alba Moans, I'm nowhere close, but thank you. And Norman Didier, something like that, thank you. Captain Wiggles, always good to see you in the comments. And Lucid PT, thumbs up and thank you. And again, I am so sorry. Usually I don't forget that badly. That's the first time I've gotten that lost in a long time. Wow. Because I literally have no ideas. Oh well. If you could check out my various links, I have Twitter, Facebook, GoFundMe, Patreon.com. If you could donate to my GoFundMe campaign or become a Patreon.com patron, I do thank some people who have been donating to my GoFundMe campaign of late. Thank you very much. Any amount helps, and it does help. I was negative 283 in my checking account, so that does help and it is appreciated. And if you could become a Patreon.com patron, like one of these beautiful and awesome people, that would be beautiful and awesome. But if you cannot donate, or you simply do not donate, I do take all good wishes. I deposit them in the bank of my heart where I draw interest, so thank you very, very much. And if you could toss me a like, I do appreciate all the positive validation I get for my existence. I'm finding it hard to keep my eyes open. And if you could subscribe to the channel, that would be very cool. Greatly appreciated. I would understand if you don't want to. But if you are down with it, I will do my very best to keep you entertained from now until the literal end of time. Definitely a thumbs up. Oh, holy smokes, look at the time. That was a bad lag spike. Hopefully it's recording well. Hopefully it doesn't show up on the actual recording side. I don't know. My system is goofy. Anyway, though, I'm going to hopefully have a reaction video, hopefully a game video, hopefully a game video for the gaming channel. I'd love to live stream again. I want to do that again. So you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side. And that, my friend, is a very good thing.